You're sitting there, watching this video, believing that love is about giving your all. About bending, yielding, and never rocking the boat. But what if I told you that every yes you utter, every sacrifice you make, is quietly eroding the very attraction you crave? That beneath the surface of every relationship lies a silent exam you don't even realize you're taking, a test so primal, so raw, it defies the polite, modern rules you've been taught. This test isn't about grand gestures or romantic poetry. It's about one simple thing, your ability to say no. Imagine that. Saying no, not in anger, not in defiance, but in calm, unshakable conviction. The kind of no that shakes the foundation of your partner's world, because it signals something far deeper than disagreement. It says, I am a man who knows himself. I am not here to please you. I am here to be myself. And here's the brutal truth, if you fail this test, if you become the man who always agrees, always accommodates, always folds, you don't just lose attraction, you lose respect. Desire dies a slow, suffocating death. And yet, most men don't even know this test exists. So, as you listen, ask yourself, when was the last time you firmly said no? When was the last time you stood your ground and risked losing her? Because the answer might just change your life. Ethan was the kind of man everyone admired, kind, patient, dependable. His friends called him the Rock, and his colleagues praised his easygoing nature. But in his relationship with Lily, something was wrong. She had fallen out of love, or so it seemed. Every weekend, Ethan agreed to plans he hated, dinners with her overbearing friends, long evenings watching shows he despised, skipping his beloved basketball games. He smiled through it all, thinking that being agreeable was the key to keeping her close. But Lily's eyes grew colder. The warmth faded from her touch. She stopped seeking him out, stopped laughing at his jokes. One night, after yet another exhausting evening doing exactly what she wanted, Ethan sat alone, staring at his phone, wondering where the connection had gone. One afternoon, as Lily asked him to cancel his plans again, Ethan felt something stir inside, a quiet defiance. Not loud or angry, but steady. For the first time, he said, "No, I won't cancel. I need this time." The silence that followed was deafening. Lily's face twisted in confusion, then frustration. But in that moment, a shift happened. The walls between them cracked. Lily looked at him not as a doormat, but as a man. It wasn't the no itself that changed everything, it was what the no represented. One, the unseen battlefield, attraction as a test of strength. Relationships aren't just about companionship, they're evolutionary battlegrounds. There is a silent, unconscious evaluation happening every moment, a primal question: is this man strong enough to stand firm when life pushes back? This test manifests not in grand gestures but in small, everyday moments. When she asks you to do something inconvenient, she's not always asking for the favor. She's pushing the boundaries to see if you have a backbone. Mini story. Imagine a man named Daniel whose partner keeps requesting expensive gifts they can't afford. Each gift is a challenge. Daniel gives in repeatedly, sinking deeper into debt. Eventually, his partner loses respect, not because of money, but because Daniel failed the test of self-respect. 2. Saying no, the paradox of attraction. Agreeableness is comfortable. It's easy. But comfort breeds boredom. Attraction craves tension, unpredictability, and mystery. The man who can say no, who refuses to be a human vending machine dispensing favors, becomes magnetic. Analogy: think of attraction like a fire. Agreeability is pouring water on the flames. Saying no is throwing in dry wood, it keeps the fire alive. 3. The language beyond words, energy and presence. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. A boundary stated with hesitation, with nervous glances or shaky voice, is a boundary that doesn't exist. Women sense this immediately. The unconscious mind reads micro-expressions, the slight falter in tone, the misplaced laughter. Mini story: Mark told his girlfriend he needed personal time once a week but phrased it as a question, seeking approval. Unsurprisingly, she ignored the boundary, and Mark folded every time she pushed back. His no was invisible because his energy wasn't there. 4. The cost of politeness, social conditioning versus masculine presence. Society rewards niceness, consensus, and conflict avoidance. Schools, workplaces, and social norms shape men into agreeable employees and polite citizens. But this conditioning strips away the raw edge of masculine presence, conviction, clarity, and leadership. Example: corporate buzzwords and endless meetings might make you a great worker, but they erode the primal confidence that women instinctively crave. 5. Authenticity versus performance. Women can tell if you're performing a version of masculinity or embodying it. Routines, pickup lines, and scripted confidence are surface level. True attraction demands a foundation built on inner certainty. Analogy: it's the difference between a wolf in sheep's clothing and a real wolf. The former can fool some, but never all. 6. The power of risk, why boundaries must carry consequences. Saying no always carries risk, the risk of argument, rejection, or even breakup. Yet this risk is the heart of attraction. It shows you value yourself more than approval. Without risk, there's no power. Mini story: a man who stood up to his girlfriend's public insults by leaving the restaurant immediately gained a new level of respect and attraction. The risk of loss became the source of power. 7. The eternal test, why attraction never sleeps. Even in long-term relationships, the testing never stops. Women instinctively push boundaries to confirm their partner's strength remains intact. A man who was once strong but softens over time loses the spark. Example: couples where men avoid conflict and say yes to everything often devolve into roommates, where desire fades into contempt. 8. The mirror of self-leadership. If you can't lead yourself, how will she trust you to lead her? The ability to say no to her is proof you can say no to the world. Leadership starts with self-mastery. Analogy: a captain who can't steer his own ship can't be trusted to navigate a storm. 9. The balance, strength without toxicity. Masculine presence is not aggression or control. It's rootedness in self, kindness without submission, and love without self-erasure. It's the dance between respect and boundaries. Mini story: a man who said no to unreasonable demands but did so calmly and kindly found his partner's respect and desire deepened. 1. Identity and ego wounds. Many men's difficulties arise from ego wounds, deep insecurities that manifest as people-pleasing or fear of rejection. The yes becomes armor, a way to avoid being seen as weak or unlovable. Breaking this pattern requires confronting painful truths about self-worth. Saying no is an act of reclaiming identity from the shadows of these wounds. 2. Trauma loops and attachment patterns. Attachment theory explains how early life experiences shape adult relationships. Men with anxious attachment may over-accommodate, seeking validation through compliance. Women with avoidant attachment push for independence, sometimes testing boundaries to gauge commitment. Understanding these loops helps decode the silent language of testing and strengthens emotional resilience. 3. Cognitive distortions in relationship dynamics. Cognitive distortions, like catastrophizing or mind reading, fuel misunderstandings. A man may think, if I say no, she'll leave me, creating anxiety that undermines boundaries. Recognizing these distortions allows men to respond with clarity, not fear. 4. Philosophical reflection, the paradox of freedom and connection. True connection requires freedom, the freedom to be oneself, to say no, to risk loss. Yet modern culture often conflates love with control, erasing boundaries under the guise of togetherness. This paradox demands a redefinition of intimacy, where respect for autonomy fuels deeper bonds. 5. Shadow self and unconscious motives. The shadow self, parts of us hidden from conscious awareness, often sabotages masculine presence. Fear of anger, rejection, or loneliness can lead men to suppress their true voice. Illuminating the shadow through introspection and honest dialogue is essential for authentic presence. 6. The role of polarity and human nature. Attraction thrives on polarity, the dynamic tension between masculine and feminine energies. This polarity is biological, not social. Neglecting it leads to sterile, passionless relationships. Acknowledging this primal truth allows men to embody their nature without shame. Step 1. Reclaim your voice. Start by practicing small refusals in daily life. Say no to a request at a coffee shop without apology. Notice the discomfort, feel it, and let it pass. Step 2. Build physical presence. Physical fitness is not vanity, it's confidence in your body's capability. Engage in activities that challenge you, rebuilding the foundation of masculine energy. Step 3. Anchor your identity. Write down your values, priorities, and what you are unwilling to sacrifice. This clarity anchors your boundaries. Step 4. Observe emotional manipulation. Learn to recognize emotional tests, tears, anger, silent treatments, and respond with calm firmness, not reactivity. Step 5. Cultivate male friendships. Surround yourself with men who embody masculine presence. Share struggles and victories, hold each other accountable. Step 6. Embrace the risk. Accept that standing firm may cause friction or loss. This is the price of authenticity and the gateway to genuine attraction. Step 7. Practice presence in relationship moments. When tested, pause. Breathe. Respond with a calm, steady no. No explanations, no justifications. Just clear boundaries. Attraction is not a game of manipulation or power plays. It is a dance of authenticity and vulnerability, of standing firm and opening heart. The question that remains, one that echoes in the silence between your words, is this: who are you willing to become when you say no? Not just in your relationship, but in life. Because the man who can say no is the man who truly exists. And in that existence, he is unstoppable.